What up? Back again with another slideshow. I feel like I'm in high school presenting this kind of stuff, but they're super easy to make, and I feel like this could bring some value to someone that may have a similar sort of issue and is curious how things get better, some things they could work on with specifically their gut health and drinking. And if I could pinpoint one physical issue from my drinking days that led me to ultimately get sober, it would be my stomach issues and my poor gut health. So, without further ado, I'll get into a little bit of it. This is strictly just my issues with my gut and my drinking. However, I did read an article before it and found this that a single alcohol binge can cause damaging effects such as bacterial leakage from the gut into the bloodstream. So, liver issues and other issues with your organs from aggressively binge drinking can be caused from leaky gut going into your other organs and impacting them just after one alcohol binge. But for me, I binged hundreds and hundreds of times, countless times. So to even think about the amount of damage I could have done or likely did do to my internal body is kind of scary. And yeah, one single alcohol binge can cause damaging effects. It's kind of crazy. I did it thousands of times. But binge to bloat, for me, within about like a year of aggressive binge drinking, I expected to be incredibly bloated after about 1 to 2 drinks. I commonly would throw up while actively drinking within like the 2 to 3 drink range, sometimes four, especially if I was trying to throw back a bunch of beers. I would get very bloated, throw up, and then it would almost be a relief to me the rest of the night because I could then funnel in more drinks and be more comfortable physically well drinking. I wouldn't want to be going out drinking and feeling like I could throw up at any moment. So for me, it was almost a relief when I got bloated almost immediately after starting a binge, because then I would throw up and then allow myself to drink more. Some side effects from aggressive binge drinking and gastritis, which commonly occurs from binge drinking, is a change in appetite, which for me was malnutrition and absolutely no appetite, like a fear of getting food down after drinking because I figured I would just throw it back up. Bloating, heartburn, which I'll touch on a little later, abdominal pain, which I am certain led to a pretty severe panic attack at one point in time for me, nausea, vomiting, or both. And I would hug the toilet seat for hours on end after nights of drinking or Sundays after a bender. Me and the toilet spent a lot of time together where I would just be like face down and like literally speak into the toilet and be like, I'm never drinking again. And then I would do it the next weekend. Insane. But yeah, vomiting was very common for me. I put this picture of a sports bar in Boston. And if you've been to sports bars or drank in Boston, you probably may know Coogan's. They do dollar beers. And one time I went in there and cashed out $20 to get probably 20 beers. And I went to the bathroom and trigger warning here, vomit, but I completely sprayed all over the wall after looking down like it was aggressive projectile, gross anyways, but it was just like one of the times where I was like, oh my God, like shocked at what shocked at what my body did from me drinking. Um, yeah, it was a briefly sobering moment in a non-sober 24-hour stretch that I had there that weekend. Um, and yeah, I would also take over-the-counter meds like omeprazole or Prilosec or Pepto-Bismol or Tums. I would also get prescribed probably a bit more um, like higher dosed acid reflux medicine, but they wouldn't really work if you continued to mix them with alcohol. Like, I think they were probably, I mean, if you read the warnings on the back of these, it's highly likely it says, like, don't consume with alcohol. But hand up, I did. often. Pain and poor sleep. Lack of sleep through my acid reflux is likely what led me to mentally have the most sort of breakdown moments and just be so irritable. With my acid reflux, or GERD, I believe it's also called, it to try and give you perspective, it felt like there was like a pot or like a cauldron of like this boiling aggressive fluid in my stomach, and if I were to lay down, it would like work its way up my like sternum, chest, and like throat area and feel hot and agitating and make me super irritable. And I can really think vividly to like certain Sunday nights after drinking aggressively Friday and Saturday, um, knowing that like I had minimal sleep, I was sleep deprived, I had work in the morning or school in the morning, and I needed to get some good rest for the week. And I could not lay down flat because I would like jolt up through pain, and I would be so agitated through like this acid reflux that I tried to wedge pillows, like this article says, to help it, and it would help for a little, but I would literally be like propped 90 degrees back against the wall, like just trying to sleep. And eventually, as the night went on, like I would fall asleep and then find myself like sliding down the wall, and I would like jolt back up like 20 minutes later and just try and get like 20 minutes of sleep consistently, but be awoken from pretty intense pain. Procedures and doctor's visits. I went to the doctor a lot of times. I don't know, 10-ish times roughly for stomach issues. That's where I would get prescribed some more serious medicine than like omeprazole and other things, um, to help with my GERD or acid reflux. I got an endoscopy at one point in time, I believe maybe going into my senior year or junior year of college, where the doctor saw that I had some stomach lining damage and other severe like acid reflux issues. Was advised to cut out drinking for quite some time. Couldn't even get myself to do it then. Um, and yeah, was advised countless times from stomach doctors and general medical practitioner doctors, to remove drinking for some time to allow my gut to heal, in which I did not do. And then getting better, unfortunately or fortunately, for someone that might be in this situation. It would be unfortunate if you were actively in drinking and you still wanted to drink, but getting better only happened when I removed alcohol from my life. And it took time as well. Like, I remember being sober for, say, 2 to 3 months, and all I wanted was my stomach to feel better. I was mad because I was like, I'm doing the right things. I haven't drank in 2 months, and my stomach still hurts. And I remember posting in a Reddit forum, r/stop drinking, being like, when is my stomach going to get better? And it's a pretty positive forum. If you're sober and have been on it, you might be familiar. But a lot of the responses were just like, you damage your body for a long time. Like, please give your body time to recover and rest. Like, your stomach doesn't heal overnight. And that's important to note. If you have stomach issues and you're working through getting sober, it takes time. Your stomach's working every single day, trying to get in the nutrients and consume the water and the liquids that you're giving it. So I put a banana picture up here because it's a low acidity food, and those can assist in not really triggering your acid reflux as much as other foods. Like, avoid like red sauce and sodas and other things that might be acidic. Try and maybe not to drink just black coffee. Um, and yeah, you might notice that just won't trigger it as bad. Stay super hydrated. For me, that helped. I was probably in a state of severe dehydration for years after aggressive binge drinking, and then just give it time. It probably took me 6 months to a year for me to notice my stomach, or for me to no longer notice my stomach was agitated or hurt. And still to this day, being 3+ years sober, I notice some small flare ups and issues with my stomach. And unfortunately, it might be due to the 8 years of damage I did to it, but it's few and far between now. Um, yeah, take care of yourself. If you have to go to the doctor and get an endoscopy and they tell you you should likely stop drinking, you should likely stop drinking. And that's a subtweet to me at the age of 20 or 21 when that happens. But nonetheless, I live to tell the tale, luckily. But yeah, if this resonates with anyone listening at all, try and just take things one day at a time. Try and be good to yourself. Be patient with your journey. Yeah, and just try and give yourself some grace and work through things one day at a time. Should see you all here soon again. I'm looking forward to trying to make some more content around this and just help me help others. So have a good rest of the day and chat soon.